the technology of Juiced. It's obviously from two guys who you did Skype and Kazaa and very involved in peer-to-peer technology. But you do have a closed system when the internet is sort of shifting towards this widget kind of everything is everywhere. And you're asking people to come to a place, which some people, Yahoo's suffering because people don't necessarily want to have that experience anymore. Despite their huge traffic, it's still, sort of last year's thing. How do you feel about having that destination kind of experience versus the more distributed kind of thing that's going on?
Well, I think that having a separate application gives us some advantages, which are the fact that you can actually watch it on full screen at a high quality, and you can create a much purer visual experience that actually appeals to content guys, and we think will appeal to users as well. But we're not going to do just that. In other words, we know that you have to make it easy for people to link and to get to you.
And embed? I mean, do you see
absolutely, yeah. We'll be doing embedding stuff. We'll be having things on our website and so forth. So the concept is we'll have the webby stuff that leads people in, and then we sit you down in front of the Juice Theater, which is the separate application. The analogy that I tell people is it's sort of like email. We will have email-like environment where you can sort of preview their PowerPoint presentation or your PDF inside the body of the email itself, and then when you really want to get the full experience, you double-click on it and you go on to the Juice platform.
I see. But
that's more the model.
But pulling people into Juiced is a marketing issue. I mean, like getting people using it.
Yeah, it will be. Although I think that if the experience is good enough, people come. And then we have this notion of widgets, and our widgets are basically HTML apps. So what you can do is actually have a series of applications that run on top of it. And so once you get to us, you're not closed in. The widgets are open, so people can develop to it. And as we get more popular, we think that a lot of people will actually show up and build apps on top of us.
Oh, interesting. So Mike, you've been around a long time. What's the big hype right now from your perspective? I mean, there's a lot of great companies now, and we're not in the same period as the last kind of bubble. It's sort of a more it's a frothy bubble, but it's a more pleasant bubble, I think.
I don't know, I think Kara Swisher is completely hyped.
I know, I agree. Thanks, Mike. Oh, I like that you insult me. Most people try to kiss my ass. I enjoy that. Good. You win. I like you immediately. So what is a big hype in a trend? Is it a Facebook? Is it this idea of widgets, or
I do think that this notion of widget companies that are sort of built to build widgets on other people's platforms is a bit of a stretch. I kind of view that not as a business, but as a hobby that a lot of people will do.
Or a feature set kind of thing.
And frankly, I do think that our segment that we're in, which is television over the internet, has way too many people in it, because it's a challenging business right now, and I'll tell you, there's not going to be that many survivors.
No, you're going to kill them off, aren't you?
We hope
to do well. You look like a nice guy, but you're actually a killer. I can see that. But what's the most promising and exciting thing you've seen lately? That's not Juice. That's not what you're doing.
Well, I do think that the notion of the basic notion of social networking, of actually creating a social fabric, is extremely relevant in the proliferation of entertainment, and I think it's important in our television business as well, because the key concept is when you couldn't easily build social circles, you used passive forms of entertainment, but now other people become your social form of entertainment, and the next phase that I think is particularly exciting is kind of linking between the two. So if you have that passive form of entertainment, the stars, you want to know about the stars, the famous people and so forth, but then you want to relate that in a social way. I think that's going to be a very, very interesting trend that will impact us.
The tools are much easier. I mean, does that translate to regular people, like businesses, or
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you could, in fact, then build a business like TMZ, for example, and lay it on top of a television experience, and create.
Which went backwards and actually successful. But in terms of like the idea of, when you're talking about the widget companies and things like that, this is, you've been around long enough to know there's been a million things like this happen. Do you feel that this idea of distribution everywhere, though, which it's a very powerful idea of moving, that it's almost like Pointcast all over. I was thinking about that last night. It's bringing everything to you rather than you going out and getting it. That content lives everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I do think that exists. I think the notion of widgets as a notion, are extremely relevant because we're becoming sophisticated online consumers, which means we don't like to have stuff shoved in our face. We want to have the ability to pull it to us. And so what widgets and the notion of widgets allow is the idea that you have kind of a ubiquity of content, ubiquity of information, but given to you when you pull it, as opposed to being pushed, which was sort of a much more older internet model.
Right, absolutely. So do you like being here in LA?
It's all right. Yeah, I know Northern California. LA's all right.
Yeah. Now Juice is in London, right? You moved there.
It is in London. Yeah,
right. How's that going?
It's really cloudy and rainy.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thanks a lot, Mike. But it's beautiful here on this beautiful day in Southern California.